The only thing necessary for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. It's important that people wake up to what is going on. It's time that we read the Constitution. It is error that needs the support of government. Truth can stand alone. That was given to us by Thomas Jefferson. Thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. My name's Daniel Hapney, and this is The Real Story. What an interesting week we have for you this week, or the time. We're going to do a little bit of news, then maybe go into some topic, and then finish up with, what you can do, or the bright side of it, Someone asked me to make it funny, and I don't know if I can, but I will try for you. So anyway, news stuff, we just had all our elections, and here in Massachusetts we had 3 questions, One was, should the people maintain their servitude and slavery? And I guess the people said yes. Question 1 got a resounding no. I haven't got the numbers for you, but from what I understood, someone said something to the effect of 60% wanted the income tax and maybe 30 didn't. And I'm trying to wonder what happened to the other 10. But that's neither here nor there. I was told that the question number 2 in regards to, should we decriminalize the consumption of marijuana products, that passed, and I don't know how that'll roll out, but it'd be very interesting. Maybe is it more business for syndicated crime or less? We don't know. But let's see. And the third one is, do we want to have dogs and dogs racing and dogs running around tracks? And evidently we don't. And that's what you have from Massachusetts. I think they, most of all the incumbents won. I heard that, Mr. Kerry was up and he got himself reelected. I guess that's really important because people wanted change. Remember that? They went to the polls, and a lot of people went to the polls. Here in Sharon, I saw the lines going all the way back to the parking lot at the high school. And I said to myself, gee, all these people want change. Yet, wasn't it a famous person who said that if you keep doing the same thing over and over, and you're doing the same thing, and you're expecting different results, that possibly there was a description for that type of behavior? We, when I say we, the populace here, have been electing both, quote, Democrats and Republicans, back and forth, and yet we want change. And I think that's why a lot of people went, and I can understand why they went and wanted change. But we'll get into that a little more. We'll get into more of our change candidate. And with that in mind, might as well go over. From what I understand, the guy who helped write the most recent, what do they call it, bailout? Rescue plan. I called it ripoff. I guess Barney Frank got back in. He's my representative here. Rather interesting, huh? He takes from the poor and gives to the rich. And you say, Dan, how can you say that about Barney Frank? Barney, I'm out of the closet, Frank. Let me go with you like this. Well, let's see. One of his best buddies was working for Fannie or Freddie, right? An inside guy. But that's not the whole thing. The whole thing was, this Goldman Sachs thing, this whole banker thing. And Barney did what? Barney helped them so that they'd get this rescue plan, this bailout, the thing I call ripoff. And what have those banks done with that money? That's money you're paying for, because all these printed dollars, whether or not they give it to banks or anybody, just the fact that they're printing money out of nothing is basically making you even more of a slave. And the best thing is, it's the type of slavery that you don't even notice, you barely feel. It's called inflation. Because as all this money gets created out of nothing, the bailout money, where did that come from? Did somebody have that bailout money in the bank? No, because the bankers, they needed the money, didn't they? Because they didn't have any money in the bank. All this fiat money, it's starting to come back, huh? Well, I'm going to tell you it's going to come back in a big way. And when I say in a big way, the words I like to think of is like hyper, sounds hyper, doesn't it? Inflation. That's right. Hyperinflation. What does hyperinflation mean to you? Does that mean you'll be paying twice as much for your home in Sharon? Possibly, if you have to buy one. Will you be paying twice as much for the milk? Yeah, you probably will. How about twice as much for the paper? The only things that probably won't cost twice as much are those that, they'll put price controls on. I can kind of see that in the future. I know this is only October, November, it's actually November of 2008, and I'm over here telling you hyperinflation and possibly price controls in your future. Does the word austerity mean anything to you? Weren't people telling us to get ready for an austerity plan? Well, I think we should be getting ready for an austerity plan. So anyway, time's moving on. We've got this little time capsule going on, and yes, we had an election, and the people got to what? They got to select the candidates that the powers that be, or at least the money that is the power that be, got to choose for us. Let's see, the big donator to McCain was Goldman Sachs. Hey, that's right. And who was the big donator to Obama? Well, Goldman Sachs. Hey, you think we were going to get a difference with either one of those two? And evidently, I guess Goldman gave a lot more to Obama, maybe 3 times as much than Goldman gave to McCain. But what's interesting is you viewers, you probably went out to the polls, and I can understand you probably wanted a change. And there was a man selling you a change. And he said, just come with me, and I'll take you back to the land of milk and honey, lots of change. Well, let's think about it. Like I said, it's November 2008, so when you rewatch this show a year from now and stuff, let's find out if I'm right or wrong when I say, be careful about your wishes. Sometimes the change you get you may not like. And that's not so much against Obama. I could care. My thought is this. Are you going to see him curtail domestic surveillance and wiretapping? You think that's what Obama's going to do while he's in? Is he going to repeal the Patriot Act? Do you think that's what Obama's going to do when he gets in? Say, you know what, that president before me signed that Patriot Act, and gee, it wasn't right, and I'm going to fix it. Or how about the Military Commissions Act? You think he's going to repeal that? So, the John Warner Defense Authorization Act? Think he's going to repeal that? That's right, it's November 2008, and I'm over here telling you, you're going to have a new president on the 20th. On the 20th of next year, 2009, January 20th, right? We signed him in. And he's going to put his hand on this. Oh, he puts it on a Bible. But what does he tell you about this? He didn't put his hand on it. He tells you that he swears to uphold and maintain and defend the United States Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Well, his predecessor didn't. You know that. Maybe that's why you want to change. You think he will? He's backed by the same money people. The same banks, huh? Same bankers. Yeah, and what they just do, they took from you, and they're now giving what? Each other bonuses. That's right, Goldman Sachs in particular, in the form of billions of dollars worth of bonuses in all their operating units, both here and foreign. Yeah, that's why they needed to be bailed out. That's why you needed to, pay for that bailout so that they could have billions and tens of billions of dollars in bonuses. You think that guy's going to defend? I wonder. All I know is the previous guy didn't. And many of us, when I say us, many people thought, once again, that they were going to get change. They probably don't consider the duopoly, the fact that both parties are run by the same people behind the scenes. Maybe that's hard to believe. Maybe they think there is a difference. Once again, they came out the previous election, okay, and they changed the the Senate and stuff in Congress so that there would be more Democrats. And that was, their thing was they were going to get us out of the war. Well, once again, it's November 2008, and I'm going to ask you, a year from now, you think Obama's getting us out of those wars? You think he's going to bring those troops back, or is he going to keep the globalist agenda, that empire type thing going on? And maybe he'll find new targets. Once again, it's November 2008, and I'm saying maybe he'll find new targets. I thought it was interesting. Maybe you did too, when you heard his partner, Mr. Biden, the one who met with that Pakistani ISI intelligence, general who wired Muhammad out of the money. Boy, Mr. Biden, what did he say? He said that Obama will be tested, shortly after coming in. And I see his quote was, I guess he's going to do things that a lot of people are going to find very, very unpopular. So, what does Mr. Biden know? How is it that he knows that? Do you ever wonder that when you asked for change and you said, I want that guy Obama and I want that guy Biden? And it gets even better because then you have Colin Powell, about a week and a half ago, said that, oh yeah, he's going to be tested. Maybe on the 21st or 22nd or 23rd. That's just a couple days after getting in. And once again, what are these unpopular things that are going to happen? But then I think, you want to change. And so you got that, you got the Obama-Biden thing going on. You think, hey, change is coming. We're going to get rid of that birdcage liner they call Bush and Cheney. Right? And so sweep out the bottom of the birdcage, put in a new one, people that we can get upset with, and we're going to call the new one Obama and Biden. And if anybody gives Obama a hard time, they must be a racist, right? Because he's not white. All right, so anyhow, we've got change coming. We've been told by some of our leaders, like our new to-be vice president, Mr. Biden, who once again met with the Pakistani ISI general who wired Mohammed Atta the money. And he's telling us what? He's telling us that he's going to be tested and he's going to have to do unpopular things. And all the things that a predecessor did, in this case our present president and the executive branch, they gave themselves powers over the past 8 years, like PDD 51, that's presidential directive, okay? Why don't you look that up? What does it mean? What powers did the president give himself? And do those presidents now go to the new president? Gee, is this like, say hello to the new boss, he's just or the same as the old boss? Once again, backed by the same money, the same people, the same, hey, I'm tied to Rockefeller with the big banking thing going on, the whole same Council on Foreign Relations things. Gee, why is it Bush was Council on Foreign Relations? And Obama's tied into that too with his wife and stuff, huh? Council on Foreign Relations, started by David Rockefeller, funded by Rockefeller. Kind of like the Trilateral Commission, huh? Yeah, how come both of those guys are like trilateral guys, huh? Wonder what's going on there, huh? Let's see, both funded by bankers, yeah, that's right. And who's made money lately? Well, what the heck? The bankers made some money, didn't they? Yeah, and the oil guys made money, we all know about that. And if you were making defensive systems, when I say defensive, let's get real, we didn't go defend Iraq, we attacked Iraq, right? We used offensive systems, what we call it defense. A lot like Orwell, huh? How we changed the words around, This is the Defense Department. It used to be the Department of War, wasn't it? What happened to us? Did we stop paying attention? How could that be? Was the Department of War, but they changed the name and you feel good about it because it's the Defense Department now. And by the way, they were allocated, what, $1 trillion? We don't even have $1. We're in deficit spending. We have a budget deficit, yet we can give the Department of Defense, that used to be called the War Department, $1 trillion. And meanwhile, our private banking cartel, yes, just like OPEC, a cartel, called the Federal Reserve System, they created $930 billion in a week about 3 weeks ago. Isn't that more than what the federal budget used to be? And we're creating it in 1 week? And your tax dollars are now bailing out foreign banks and providing bonuses for the people at Goldman Sachs. Isn't that important that they have bonuses? Yes, and they're telling you that you have austerity to look forward to, and there'll be another big thing, another false flag event like 9/11, so that we can rally around the flag, maybe go to war with who? Pakistan, maybe Russia, maybe Syria. You never know, because already we're attacking Syria because we had a reason, Yeah, sovereignty of nations is not important to us. Heck, attack everybody. Why not? Because we have a Department of Defense. Oh, that's right. I mean, the War Department. I forgot. They changed the names, and you forget this stuff. So time's going on. Well, let's go over a little bit in time, and we'll try to remember or learn stuff here. What I got for you is some images. That's right. Today, we have props. The first one I have, and I want you to get a good glimpse of. Hey, do you know what this is? This is a logo. When's the last time you had a president with a logo? Did the previous guy have a smiley face? What do I see here? Rather interesting. And I saw it on a lot of cars because these people wanted change, and rightfully so. They probably deserve change. I knew what was going on, and heck, I wanted change too. But I thought maybe I'd get my change from someone other than Zbigniew Brzezinski or his son or his daughter and all that, because they're in your new stuff. With your new guy, you get Zbigniew. Almost sounds new, doesn't it? It's kind of like change himself. Yeah. So anyway, we got a guy with a logo. Why? Is he the first guy with a logo? Or have there been many people with logos? Did the last guy have a logo? Wow, logos are interesting, huh? They come with change. Well, here's another logo for you. Looks similar at all? What does it tell you? Oh, it says this word up here. That's right. They're taking your money and they're giving it to these people, right? Like they need money. And meanwhile, this is money made from nothing. And that's why I said prepare yourself for hyperinflation. Because when they print money from nothing, the money you have will buy less. Remember that when you look at your children. And when you look at your parents, say, hey parents, hey kids, the money we have is going to buy less soon. Who's it benefiting? But anyway, the logo, sorry, get back to this logo thing. All right. Remember this? Just to go back one for you, because it's important. We have this, and before that we had this. That's right, the Constitution. Remember the guy who's in right now, he didn't care about the Constitution. He said it was a GD piece of paper. All right? Now, I don't know about you, but the rule of law is a pretty big thing. That's usually what makes or breaks a country, you know? It's like, hey, you either have the rule of law or you don't. Not big on despotism. All right, so let's go over some new images for you. We went over logos. Hey, how about this one? It was gunned off right off the website. Kind of interesting, huh? If I see it starting to be painted on the sides of buildings or big 60-foot banners, I'll be a little bit concerned. Why? Because, you know, before we had this guy, or before, you know, I said, gee, I see all this fascist type stuff coming on, you know? And what did this guy ask for? Oh, a little while ago, he asked for a million men or a million youth security force. Yeah, security force. We've already got the Department of Defense, you know, with the Army, and they've already said, what, Northcom is putting on a brigade on our streets, and now they announced they're going to put another 4,700 ex-Army people who are, what, in Iraq, kicking down doors and shooting people, and they're going to be patrolling the streets and helping out in America. Isn't that good? Your Army helping out in America. Remember Posse Comitatus? Probably not, because things like, you know, constitutions are important. But, you know, where else have you seen things like this? Ooh, there's our fearless leader, isn't it? In this case, somebody else had a fearless leader. Hey, like the rays coming down from it, and look at the people. They look like the next youth brigade going to be on the streets? That's because we need what? We need more military on our streets in America? Hey, wow. Looks a lot like this art. Rather interesting art, huh? And you say to yourself, wow, it's not so much pro-Obama or anti-Obama, but think about what his predecessor, in this case, GW, think what GW has been putting in place. He's been slowly but surely putting a police state in place, huh? He uses a private paramilitary force called Blackwater to, you know, to run around with guns and stuff, and they can have automatic weapons and wear Darth Vader outfits. And then they have, you know, they have the U.S. Army now on the streets under Northcom. And, gee, as he hands the baton over to the next guy, gee, what does fascism remind you of? And what do you see it, you know? Hey, it's another fearless leader. Yeah. What are we selling people here, huh? Rather interesting. Now we torture people. That's right, because this is the United States of America. Remember, we passed those laws. That's right, our elected officials that we put in Congress passed those bills like the Military Commissions Act. Hey, he had one, I'm sure. That allowed him to torture people, huh? I think he had a revolution, a cultural revolution. Here's another guy. He liked torture. He liked having the military on the streets. Yeah, I don't know about, let's see. Hey, there's more of those military kind of people. Where have we seen this before? Hey, by the way, do you know any leaders that had logos? Wasn't there a guy in the 30s who was in Germany who had a logo? Kind of like a bent-up cross or something, you know? Well, there's always the Messiah look. Have you been watching the news? Who do they tell you is the new Messiah? You know, because the last guy is so bad. We need someone to save us. Very savior, isn't he? Ooh. I like him. Ooh, he's going to save you and me, huh? Because he's bringing you change. Remember what his predecessor did? It was not out yet, but remember him? He gave you the TSA. That's right. Would you please take your shoes off? Because everyone's Al-Qaeda, you know? That's right. And he gets the power now. Remember, they put all those powers in place, and here's your new power guy. But guess what? It's not him. You got to look behind him. Because these guys don't have any power. The president really doesn't have any power. Other than the stuff maybe you give him. You can worship him if you want. Or this is the new guy. You can worship the old guy. It doesn't matter. I know people that worship both. They'll worship Bush now, and they'll worship Obama when he comes in. This one I love, though. We're back to the Messiah. Ooh, the golden boy. Almost like the golden child. So, when I say we, evidently we're told that many people chose change. Yes. Well, hopefully it's changed for the better. I've got a feeling, just because I know some of the people that he associates with and also those who are his advisors, boy, they've done a lot of change over the history, haven't they? Yeah. So he's backed by all the banker big bucks. That makes me think Rockefeller, makes me think Kissinger, and we've seen what they've done before in the past. And, yeah, his buddies own and run that, or once again, he's the guy, but behind him is what? Is the banking cartel and, rich people from around the world that get together at like the Bilderberg meeting. Not him, but people behind him. It's kind of funny. Do you remember when he was campaigning and both him and Hillary all of a sudden left the campaign trails? As a matter of fact, I believe his campaign people lied to the reporters that were traveling with him and told them that he was going to get on this plane and fly to Chicago, and he didn't get on the plane. No, he went to Northern Virginia. And that was the same time, wasn't it, that the Bilderbergs were meeting in Chantilly, Virginia during his presidential campaign. Hey, kind of interesting, huh? But, nothing good or bad. It's just, information for you. Because who would think that anyone or any time in the history of the world, people would actually try to get power, and try to wield power and do anything they can and kill as many people as you can even count, probably more than you can count, okay, so that they could have this power. And it's not that he's the only one. When I say the only one, just look around you. Look at your media, Remember, Torture's Okay Now? We have that show, or we had the show 24 and stuff. And everybody's Al-Qaeda. It's all security. And, the more anybody looked into 9/11, the more they were called unpatriotic. But the deeper they looked, the more they found out there were inconsistencies. Not just that, things didn't work out scientifically. Oh my gosh. And then we found out we were lied to many times. And how about the whole thing with the insider trading on 9/11, where days before and up to 9/11, there were more put options put on the American Airlines and United Airlines than ever before in their history, and let alone in recorded history of the markets. And it was chased to that Brown Company place. I'm trying to think. I got to get the name right. But I know that went down to Maryland, and Buzzy Cromwell, I think was the name. And oh my gosh, he took a job at the CIA. So insider trading tied to a brokerage house, and the brokerage house guy running to whatever went to work for the CIA. Hey, and let's see, the guy running security, or who ran Securicom? Marvin Bush, and also Whit Walker. Remember, it's George Walker Bush, right? Herbert Walker and all that good stuff. So we're getting rid of that old birdcage liner, and we're bringing you some new birdcage liner. So that, right now we're going to think it's changed. And we're going to cut him some extra slack because he's not Bush and he's not Cheney and he's not those bad guys. But what makes you think, once again, if choosing Republicans and Democrats that were backed by big bankers, like they did previously, that there's going to be change? Let alone positive change. I'll ask you once again on this show, November 2008 show, or whatever at the beginning, right after we've had our election, or I should say our selection. They select and we elect. Do you think he's going to stop the warrantless wiretapping of Americans? Do you think he's going to repeal the Patriot Act? Do you think he's going to stand up and, repeal the Military Commissions Act that says we can torture people? Do you think he's going to get rid of the John Warner Defense Authorization Act that, takes governors out of the loop for National Guard and stuff, and let alone allows the president the powers to call in the Mexican Army? The Mexican Army. Also, too, while you're out there, viewers, take a few moments. Thank you for watching, but take a few moments and type these words into your Google machine. Type in Constitution-free zone. We're going back to the bottom one. Hold on. We did have all that good art for you, huh? Here it is once again, the Constitution. Now I want you to type in Constitution-free zone. Do a search. Take a moment. Maybe do a little research. Where's this Constitution-free zone going to be? Would it surprise you if I said it would be within 100 miles of any coast? That's right, so California or any border, Canadian, Mexican. How many Americans does that cover? Why do we need a new guy with a Constitution-free zone? You can't blame him. Well, actually, you can. He voted for the bailout, by the way. He voted to steal your money, to steal from the poor, and give to the rich bankers. All right, let's go back one. Remember, he had a logo, and, his buddies have logos, right? All right, his buddies have logos, and it gets better. Who else do you know came into power with a logo? Should I take you back to the 30s? Okay, Going to be interesting, huh? We're in for some very dynamic times. And you as a viewer, you get to think, have I seen any of this before? Have I heard any of this before? Why does this guy keep coming on my television and saying, you know what? These people don't love your family. These people are, I want to say, trashing or thrashing your monetary unit, the dollar. You're going to say goodbye to it pretty soon. And you've seen commodity prices go down recently, and you've seen the dollar, quote, go up. And it wasn't really the dollar going up, was it? For you world financial people, I hope you're watching, you probably would have found out that really other major currencies around the globe went down. Boy, as a matter of fact, their markets got affected too, right? And that made the dollar look good. And, quote, commodity prices went down. I wouldn't expect that to last too long. Because all these people that we've been exchanging dollars for their goods because of the Bretton Woods Accord and stuff, and then what took over after the Bretton Woods, where the dollar was first backed by gold, and then in the 70s, thank you, Nixon and company, no more backing by gold, so we could print as much as we wanted, and then we had all floating currencies for the world. But if you wanted to buy any commodities, you required dollars, you needed dollars. Well, now, what if people don't want those dollars? What if you're in China and you don't want the dollar? You already have some. Let's say you have a stack higher than this, you just got tons of dollars. Then what? What happens when those paper instruments, those dollars created by debt, not by anything tangible or real, that's why they call it fiat currency, what happens if they repatriate themselves? That those issued pieces of debt come back home here to the United States of America. They were, when I say they, these centralized bank globalist people were able to print dollars from nothing, buy up real assets like companies, like resources, like dams, bridges, highways. Did you realize they're for sale? Hey, they tried to sell Government Center in Boston. Remember that? This is comedy. They're going to lease it back. So anyway, they took the money that they created from nothing and they bought real things. Okay? So they bought real tangible things, and then what happened? And then, they got you to think that, everything's better because they pushed this money, they added liquidity to markets. And you said, I'm rich now because I got more money. Yet the money you have doesn't buy as much. And meanwhile, what are they doing now? They're contracting the money supply. They're telling you that we have to steal more from you to help the banks. And the banks are doing what? They're giving their people bonuses in tens of billions of dollars amounts. Just take a look at Goldman Sachs. It wasn't me. It was the New York Times who said it. Okay? But think about it. They stole from you to give Goldman Sachs more money. And isn't it surprising your Treasury Secretary's from Goldman Sachs? Yeah. And meanwhile, you got this new guy. You get the Messiah dude, and he's your change. But he's backed by bankers. You think you're going to get change? You better get ready for the change. They'll blame it on the last guy, right? And the new guy, but new guy's going to save you. He's going to say austerity. And then beware. Beware of a biological attack. Beware of a nuclear attack, okay, where some city blows up and they tell you, oh my gosh, it's Al-Qaeda, or it's the Russians or somebody else, because they need more wars. When I say need more wars, don't believe me. Why don't you just go find out that the Rand Corporation went and briefed the Pentagon and said, you know what you need? You need a big war. That's what you need. Yeah. I guess we needed 9/11. If you read what Cheney wrote, the Project for a New American Century with Wolfowitz, Yeah, but that's okay because everything's all right, everybody. Keep taking the drugs, especially the big pharmaceutical drugs. Oh, and by the way, keep putting the toxin, the poison, in your water because fluoride, it's so good for you, isn't it? Yeah, it's good for your children too. It helps them. Look what good things it does to their bones and their brain. Yeah. So, let's see. This was the beginning of November, and I said, do you think he's going to stop the warrantless wiretappings? Do you think, the million-man army thing for, with more funding than the Army has, or at least equal funding, I think he called for? And they're going to be youth. We want a youth brigade. That's right. He needs youth brigades. Where have you heard that before? Hey, did he have the youth? Yeah, we need the youth. Must have the youth. Gosh. Folks, Sharonites, worldviewers, whatever, we must wake up. We've got to wake up. It's a wake-up thing, Have some coffee, a little bit of stimulant, ask questions. Where have I seen leaders with logos before? Yeah, youth brigades. The previous guy get what? Handing the baton over to this new guy. And what the previous guy do? Let's see, false flag terrorism, put in a police state. Yeah, kind of interesting, huh? Boy, I'm sure all the, quote, neocons, the real Republicans are crying now because those... And what? Years from now, they're going to say, well, we're getting change. We're getting rid of that Democrat. We're going to get ourselves a real Republican in here. It's comedy. They play us, like a Japanese musical instrument that lays flat. And you can move the frets or the bridges, and you can play the strings at the same time. So your show for you this week, okay? And we're going to try to leave you on some happy notes, but here's how it goes. It goes, we covered the news. Oh, there were these elections. People still wanted to pay income tax. Hey, they must love being slaves. You got me. Okay, but we're going to let them party. Pot made it. And the dogs, I guess we're not going to let them run. And as far as incumbents go, incumbents stay in. And we voted for change, kind of like they did 2 years ago, November, for you viewers out there who voted. Remember, you put in a bunch of Democrats, they're going to get you out of the war. I'm asking you in November of 2008, do you think that new guy is going to get us out of the war? Think he's going to get us out of the other war? You think they're going to, think the CIA is going to stop moving heroin into the country? I mean, come on, folks. Let's see, he's backed by the same banker money, people, globalist things. I know. Find out. You think he's going to do a carbon tax on you? That's right. Exhale. CO2 comes out. He's going to tax you on that. Get ready for it, because that's what he says. Oh, and by the way, anybody in the coal industry? Yeah, I know you produce 49% of the electricity in the country, but guess what? Him no like coal. Okay, so... yeah, we got a new guy, same as the old guy, backed by the money, and they're printing more of that money so fast that your money's losing its value rapidly. Oh my gosh, hyperinflation, that's what I said. Can you say that? Hyperinflation. Come on, kids. Any kids watching? Hyperinflation. Does it help if I say it real slow? Hyperinflation. Oh, don't forget austerity. Don't forget what Biden said, and also Colin Powell, about there's going to be big things happening, and test this man. He needs a test, and it's going to get better. When I say better, geez, he's going to have to make decisions that are going to be unpopular for the American people. And, that's right, Zbigniew Brzezinski, you remember that name, he's behind him, and what does he say? You should read his books. Don't listen to me. Read Zbignew's books. I think he wrote the Grand Chessboard. You ought to read that one. He's got another one out, too. Came out newer. Boy, did a good job selling Obama, didn't he? Oh, and Biden? Gosh, what a great guy, huh? You ought to look into his. Once again, who met with the guy who funded Muhammad Atta? Mr. Biden. When? Oh, I guess right around September of 2001. Very interesting, isn't it? We live in dynamic times. We're very fortunate. Thanks for watching. That was the show.